And good morning and welcome to this special live coverage of the inauguration of Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe. We'll be going to the Capitol here momentarily where the activity is about to begin. We should explain that the inauguration of a governor is in fact a legislative process, and so in just a few minutes the President pro tem of the Missouri Senate, Cindy O'Loughlin, will swear in the activity there, and then they will begin to swear in the other officials. This is Inauguration Chairman Andy Blunt. Let's listen.
Special day, particularly for the families. I was speaking with Attorney General Bailey this morning, and I was telling him that I was his son Landon's age 40 years ago when I watched my father be sworn into statewide office. John, 20 years ago, I watched my brother be sworn in as the 54th Chief Executive of the state of Missouri. And today, all of us gather with unique relationships with Governor-elect Kehoe and immense optimism for the future of Missouri under Mike and Claudia Kehoe's leadership. But before we begin today's program, I would direct your attention to the left side of the stage as Governor Mike Parson and First Lady Teresa Parson leave a job they have done so well and begin their journey home. Providence brought Mike Parson to the governor's office at a time when his steady hand was needed most. His service as governor was one of dignity and honor, and he led Missouri through unparalleled adversity and renewal, resulting in a legacy of unparalleled success. I've known Mike Parson since he was sheriff in Polk County. He arrived in Jefferson City for the first time in his pickup truck with big ideas and a humble approach. 20 years later, Governor Parson leaves Jefferson City, and while a more official means of transporting the governor and the First Lady back to Bolivar were offered, this fine man wanted to drive his truck home in a way that would allow him to reflect on his first trip to Jefferson City and all that has transpired since. Governor Parson, Missouri owes you a debt of gratitude, and we will be eternally grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking the 57th Governor and the First Lady for their many years of service to the state of Missouri.
Mike and Teresa Parson bidding a final farewell to a crowd of hundreds gathered on the south lawn at the state capitol.
Thank you, Governor. Appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Again, this is a legislative function.
I also want to recognize the state employees from the Office of Administration and other agencies, as well as the hundreds of volunteers who have dealt with some difficult conditions over the last 10 days and have worked tirelessly to make the ground so beautiful for today's celebration. I ask that you join me in giving them a big round of applause in recognition of their significant contributions to today's events. The Constitution of the state of Missouri prescribes little about the ceremony you are about to witness today. Mike Kehoe and this fine slate of statewide office holders will be sworn into office in a ceremony that has been shaped by time and by history. Like Missouri's first governor, Alexander McNair, Mike Kehoe is from St. Louis. Mike Kehoe and Claudia Kehoe settled in Jefferson City, though, 36 years ago. They raised their family, built their business, and became part of this amazing community. The last resident of Jefferson City to become governor was sworn in actually 100 years ago today when Sam Aaron Baker took the oath of office in 1925. The seamless transition of power in our American political system is as unique as the man who takes the gubernatorial oath of office today, a man who has been shaped over time by some amazing people. First, his mother, Lorraine Kehoe, or Gomi as she was affectionately called. Mike was the youngest of 6 children, raised by this amazing woman who worked multiple jobs, led her family with strength and courage, and is watching this ceremony with great pride today from heaven. Mike Kehoe then went to work washing cars for a successful Ford dealer, Dave Sinclair. Mr. Sinclair saw what Missourians saw 40 years later. Mike Kehoe was a true leader, capable of handling any task placed before him. Eventually, with Mr. Sinclair's mentorship, Mike Kehoe became the youngest Ford dealer in the country, and the rest is history. I've known Mike Kehoe for over 20 years. He has all the qualities that you could ask for in a governor. He is a mentor, he's a neighbor, always willing to lend a helping hand. He's a friend always willing to listen. He's a brother in Christ who became godfather to my daughter Allison, and he is a leader in every room he is in. He tackles every problem with Missouri common sense, humility, and a work ethic as if everything depends on him, and a faith as if everything depends on God. But certainly for our governor-elect, there's no greater title than husband and father. Mike and his wonderful wife, Claudia, have 4 amazing children, his daughter, Carol, and her husband, Scott, with a grandbaby on the way, his second daughter, Maggie, his third daughter, Claire, and his son, Michael, and his fiancée, Hannah, obviously all of whom are going to be with us here today in a moment. Like their parents, they have suffered a lot to make this day possible, and Missourians are grateful for their sacrifice as well. One of the traditions of today's events is that this inauguration take place in a joint session of the Missouri General Assembly. Cindy O'Laughlin, the President Pro Tem of the Missouri State Senate, will preside over that session, and I welcome her to the podium to convene the session.
Cindy O'Laughlin taking over the Pro Tem from Caleb Rowden of Columbia.
Thank you. The joint session of the 103rd General Assembly is hereby called to order. Please turn your attention to the Capitol doors as we welcome the Legislative Escort Committee, made up of 18 members of the State Senate and 18 members of the House of Representatives.
The political balance in the Missouri legislature has not changed. Supermajorities for the Republican Party in both the House and Senate. That doesn't mean the new governor might not have occasion to veto legislation coming his way. Mike Parson last year vetoed $1 billion in spending approved by the state legislature. You have 163 members of the Missouri House, 34 members of the Missouri Senate.
Please welcome Missouri Attorney General, the Honorable Andrew Bailey, and his wife, Jessica, along with their children, Adia, Easton, Landon, and Campbell.
Andrew Bailey, a former office attorney for Governor Mike Parson, who Parson appointed as Attorney General.
Missouri's Treasurer, the Honorable Vivek Malik, and his family.
Vivek Malik, a St. Louis businessman, attorney, also appointed by Parson. Malik, of course, immigrated into this country, completed his education at Southeast Missouri State University with a master's in business administration.
Missouri Secretary of State-elect, the Honorable Denny Hoskins, and his wife, Michelle.
Denny Hoskins, the former state senator from Warrensburg, a member of the Freedom Caucus in the Missouri Senate, was a man who stood in the way of gambling in this state, wagering, I should say, sports wagering, for a long
Missouri's
time.
Lieutenant Governor-elect, the Honorable David Wassinger, and his wife, Colleen, along with their children, Alex and Andrew.
Wassinger from Southwest Missouri, his first elective office. Again, an attorney, business law.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Governor-elect Mike Kehoe and his wife Claudia and their family.
"62 years old, the 58th governor of the state of Missouri, Mike Kehoe, and family. He has 4 grown adult children. Another appointee, originally by Mike Parson, following the Eric Greitens situation when Parson ascended to become governor. He appointed Kehoe as lieutenant governor. Kehoe serving as the majority leader in the Senate. And there was some legal wrangling over that. Some folks didn't think that was constitutional, but the court sustained it.
It is my great honor to welcome and recognize some of our distinguished fellow Missourians seated on the platform this morning. Their unwavering commitment to public service, tireless efforts in shaping policy, and dedication to the betterment of our communities are invaluable. We are privileged to have such accomplished individuals among us. Will those who are being introduced please rise when you are introduced? Please welcome former U.S. Attorney General John Ashcroft and former First Lady Janet Ashcroft. Former Governor Matt Blunt. Former Governor Jay Nixon. Former U.S. Senator Roy Blunt. U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt. Congresswoman Ann Wagner. Congressman Jason Smith, Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft, State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick, former Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder, members of the Cabinet, all of them, members of the Missouri Supreme Court, Chief Justice Mary Rhodes Russell, Judge Robin Ransom, Judge Kelly Broniak, and Judge Ginger Gooch. To begin today's session, I would ask everyone to please rise and remain standing for the presentation of the colors by the Joint Service Color Guard. After the presentation of the colors, House Speaker John Patterson will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the national anthem sung by St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department officer Eva Miller Galvin, and the invocation by the Most Reverend W. Sean McKnight, Bishop of Jefferson City.
You saw former U.S. Senator Roy Blunt just behind the pro tem there. This process is familiar to Blunt. He served as chairman of the presidential inaugurations before leaving that office. Since the last inauguration, a lot of work has been done to that Capitol. If you've been by it at night, lots of colorful lighting on the dome and the front of the building. Difficult to estimate the size of the crowd from here. It's typically a couple of thousand people.
Good morning. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare and the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
From the book of the prophet Jeremiah. For surely I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans for your welfare and not for harm, to give you a future with hope. Let us pray. O God and Lord of history, in gratitude we turn to you on this glorious day of celebration for the great state of Missouri. Hear our prayers for our new governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, treasurer, and attorney general. We plead for your sacred assistance, O God of peace and justice, so that they may serve faithfully the constitutions of the United States and the state of Missouri, which bind us all together. May their service to the people of Missouri protect our civil freedoms, guide and foster our unity in times of uncertainty, nurture concord, justice, and peace, and lead us all into prosperity. Bless our new governor, Mike Kehoe, and all who work with him in the governance of this state, so that they may lead us not merely with the power of their office, but with moral authority founded on personal integrity and character. O supreme ruler of the universe, to whom alone belong the dominion and the power, be their support in the fulfillment of this awesome trust of the people to ensure the spirit and letter of our constitutions for all the inhabitants of our land. Through their stewardship of our resources, may they ensure opportunities for education, jobs, commerce, health, and the well-being of our citizens. May they preserve and defend the physical and moral integrity of our beloved state, founded with trust in you. and may our cities flourish, our rural communities thrive under their watchful care. O God, the source of all life, quicken their hearts always with the awareness of your presence, especially in the lonely moments of fateful decisions which may be theirs to make for us and our world. In profound humility, O God, we pray that your blessing may rest upon our governor and all associated with him in our government, which we, the people, have set in authority, as we repeat the words of the prayer, ancient and yet ever new, from sacred writ. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord let his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord look upon you kindly and give you peace. Amen.
Momentarily, we'll begin the swearing in of other office holders. 5 statewide
Please be
office holders
seated.
elected in the presidential year.
Judge Kelly Broniak of the Missouri Supreme Court will administer the oath of office to the Attorney General of Missouri, the Honorable Andrew Bailey.
Bailey with his wife Jessica. They have 4 children, 3 of whom were foster children. They later adopted them. The family home is in Montgomery County, Missouri.
I, Andrew Bailey,
I, Andrew Bailey,
do
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and will faithfully demean myself
as
Attorney General of the State of Missouri.
Attorney General of the State of Missouri.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Bailey defeating Will Scharf, the former assistant U.S. attorney and Trump lawyer, in the primary, and then Democrat Elad Gross in the general election.
Judge Thomas C. Clark, the second of the Missouri Court of Appeals, Eastern District, will administer the oath of office to the State Treasurer, the Honorable Vivek Malik.
Malik is a resident of Wildwood, Missouri. He and his wife Riju have 3 children.
Please place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Vivek Malik,
I, Vivek Malik,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Missouri,
of the State of Missouri,
and I will faithfully demean myself
and I will faithfully demean myself
in the office of Treasurer
in the office of Treasurer
of the great state of Missouri.
of the great state of Missouri.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. Thanks a lot, Vivek.
Judge Thomas N. Chapman of the Missouri Court of Appeals, Western District, will administer the oath of office to the Secretary of State, the Honorable Denny Hoskins.
Denny Hoskins, the 41st Secretary of State in Missouri.
Please raise your left hand. Please place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand to be sworn. And repeat after me. I, Denny Hoskins,
I, Denny Hoskins,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and I will faithfully demean myself
and I will faithfully demean myself
as Secretary of State of Missouri.
as Secretary of State of Missouri.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chief Justice Mary Rhodes Russell of the Missouri Supreme Court will administer the oath of office to the Lieutenant Governor of the State of Missouri, the Honorable David Wasinger.
Like Kehoe, Wasinger is 62 years old. Born and raised in Hannibal, Missouri. Educated at Mizzou and
Please
Vanderbilt.
place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, David Gerard Wassinger,
I, David Gerard Wassinger,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and I will faithfully demean myself
and I will faithfully demean myself
in the office of
in the office of
Lieutenant Governor of the State of Missouri.
Lieutenant Governor of the State of Missouri.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge.
Congratulations.
Wassinger also serving as a certified public accountant at one point. Now, it will be interesting to see what happens going forward. By my watch, we're about 4 minutes away from noon. The Constitution says the governor will be sworn in at noon. And that doesn't mean 5 minutes until noon, but in the past there has been at least one occasion where the candidate was not patient and in fact was sworn in a couple of minutes before the hour of noon. On several occasions, though, they have waited for the clock, the chimes in the steeple at St. Peter's Church just across the street from the Capitol to toll the hour of noon before they get started. So we'll hear the music and then we'll see if they wait for those bells or if they go ahead and swear in Mike Kehoe as governor. While we're waiting for the noon hour to arrive, my colleague Megan Lane is on site at the Capitol. Megan, give us a sense of the mood there.
Hey, Kermit. Yeah, there are hundreds and hundreds of people out here right now. The band, of course, just stopped right when I start talking. We are waiting for Governor-elect Mike Kehoe to be sworn into office as the 58th governor of the state of Missouri. Now, after all of the inauguration ceremony is finished, there will be a meet and greet with the governor later this afternoon. There is his first official acts as governor taking place, and then there will be a promenade of the Budweiser Clydesdales that will be coming from the Capitol straight to the mansion, the governor's mansion. Then after all of that, there will be a grand march right before the inaugural ball. So there are a lot of events. It's a days long activities, and right now we're just kind of waiting for the governor to be sworn into office.
Yeah, Megan, I think we're waiting for the
She is saying right now on the microphone, can you hear me, that she is saying they are waiting until exactly 12 o'clock. Oh, there are the bells. The bells are going off right now.
Yeah, they've chosen to do it by the book. No one can question later when that happens.
The Honorable Roy Blunt, former United States Senator, will administer the oath of office to the 58th Governor of Missouri, the Honorable Mike Kehoe. Mike will be sworn in with his wife, Claudia, holding the Bible that belonged to his mother, Lorraine Kehoe.
Mike Kehoe's story pretty well known. One of 6 children raised by a single-parent mother in St. Louis. Goes on to become a very successful businessman in mid-Missouri, owned his own car dealership for many years.
Lieutenant Governor Kehoe, are you prepared to take the oath?
I am.
Your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Michael L. Kehoe.
I, Michael L. Kehoe.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Missouri.
And the Constitution of the State of Missouri.
And that I will faithfully demean myself.
And that I will faithfully demean myself.
As Governor of the State of Missouri.
As Governor of the State of Missouri.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Kehoe breaking with some tradition by not having a judge swear him in, instead choosing former U.S. Senator Roy Blunt. And the guns fired on the opposite side of the Capitol building toward the Missouri River. The Missouri National Guard. We didn't see it there, but that was a flyover by a B-2 stealth bomber from Whiteman Air Force Base.
8 years ago, I had the honor to be the first person to introduce the new President of the United States, Donald Trump. Today, I have for me an equally great honor to be able to introduce to Missourians and to people who understand and love our state, the 58th Governor of the State of Missouri, Mike Kehoe.
Well, thank you, and please be seated. I've already been told I'm on the clock. President Pro Tem O'Loughlin, Speaker Patterson, members of the General Assembly, state and federal elected officials, former governors, judges, cabinet officials, friends, family, and fellow Missourians. We stand this morning honoring a group of brave men and women who represent the best of those who served and protect our communities. Would you please welcome me, our Salute to Hero honorees that we honored this morning in the state's rotunda, seated behind me. I'd like to take a moment to now thank Governor Parson for his service to our state, his humble, steady leadership that benefited all Missourians. Claudia and I wish he and the First Lady well in his next chapter. I stand before you today, mindful of the honorable history of this occasion, humbled by the trust Missourians have placed in me, and determined to meet the challenges ahead. I will always remember and honor the solemn oath I just took. Growing up, no one would have looked at me and said, one day, that kid is going to be sworn in by Senator Roy Blunt as the 58th Governor of the state of Missouri. And I will never forget where I came from, the sixth child of Lorraine Kehoe, a single mom who often struggled to raise her family in North St. Louis City. My mom wasn't what some would call highly educated, but she worked hard. She was a very, very wise and caring and loving person. She was God-fearing. Today, I probably have her rosary with me and used her Bible to take the oath. I learned a lot about life, faith, and relationships from her. Every time we kids complained about something we didn't have, she had a simple answer: pray harder and work harder. Mom was right. If you work hard and you love the Lord, you can get anywhere you want to go in this state, in this country. That's been the guiding principle of my life. Whenever we saw something that needed to be done, we didn't complain. We prayed hard and we worked hard. That's what led me to get started in business. It's why I ran for state senate. It's why I answered Governor Parsons' call to serve as lieutenant governor. And it's why I ran for governor. So this day, thank you. So this day, this moment in time, it's a win. It's a big win for single mothers like Lorraine Kehoe. My journey has been the experience of a lifetime, and I couldn't have done it without the grace of God, my family, my brother and sisters who are here today, and the support of many mentors and friends. My wife, Claudia, has been an incredible partner and been by my side every step of the way, and she will be an amazing First Lady of the state of Missouri. Our kids, Carol, Michael, Maggie, and Claire, and our son-in-law, Scott, were always there to support Claudia and me. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. This is truly an emotional and humbling experience for our entire family. In the years ahead, we're going to need your continued prayers and support because there's a lot of work to be done. And because, sadly, the world around us has grown more divided and cynical. For far too many people, hard work has been replaced by handouts. The power of prayer is mocked. The contest of ideas is no longer a matter of right versus wrong, but of good versus evil. Political opponents cast each other as traitors and criminals. I reject this. I believe we can work together without sacrificing our core beliefs. One of my life's mentors was a man named Dave Sinclair. He instilled in me that building relationships, standing for your values, relying on your faith, and finding a path to make something work is a good thing. My story is living proof that a mentor in a young person's life can have a lifelong impact. Mr. Sinclair reinforced the values my mother taught me, and that was exactly what I needed. And quite frankly, other young kids who come from struggling backgrounds need the same thing today. They need hope. My life growing up in the inner city, moving to a small town, building a business, and operating a ranch, these experiences have taught me one thing. Missourians are more alike than we are different. All of us want to feel safe in our homes and our neighborhoods. We want our kids to get a good, quality education. We want to work hard to support our families. Achieving these things, that's how we secure Missouri's future. Securing Missouri's future begins with public safety. Too many Missourians don't feel safe, and too many Missourians aren't safe. When people are afraid for their lives and their family, they cannot be productive, and they will not prosper. Later today, as my first official act as day one as governor, I will take our first steps in securing safety for Missourians. But that's not all. In the coming weeks, months, and years, my administration will be relentless in our efforts to make Missouri a place where it's easier to be a cop than a criminal. And when Missourians are safe, they can be the best versions of themselves. Our efforts will support the brave men and women in uniform who risk their lives for us every day. Officers like Eva Millar Galvan, who did a wonderful job singing our national anthem this morning. Man, she's a rock star, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Securing Missouri's future means strengthening public education and expanding school choice so that every single student has the opportunity to get a world-class education. Whether it's a four-year college or a career and technical education, schools that teach kids how to think, not what to think, are the key to long-term self-reliance. Securing Missouri's future means creating stable jobs to provide both a source of income and a sense of purpose. My administration will focus on reducing taxes and cutting regulations so families can keep more of their own money and so job creators want to come here, expand here, and hire more hardworking Missourians. Finally, securing Missouri's future means securing our agriculture economy. Just behind me, and about 350 feet up on top of this beautiful Capitol, is our state's tribute to the hardworking agriculture families and their efforts. Some multi-generational, some first generation like Claudia and me. For our state to continue to feed and clothe the world, we must get government out of their lives and let our farmers and ranchers do what they do best: work hard and continue to produce results. Make no mistake about it, accomplishing these goals will not be easy. We will face entrenched special interest, a fear of change, and a culture that says we should keep doing things the way we've always done them. But Missourians did not send us here to do what's comfortable. They expect results. They deserve results. And with my administration, they will get results. This is my promise to you. I will talk to anyone, work with anyone, and root for anyone who has a good idea to make our state stronger and better. And when we succeed, together, Missouri and our citizens will serve as a model of responsible, conservative, and innovative leadership. Over the past 2 centuries, countless Missourians have plowed the soil, worked in factories, raised families, gone to church, and contributed to their communities. Our grit, our resourcefulness, our work ethic has produced remarkable citizens, people America has counted on to lead our soldiers into battle and to lead our nation into peace. People who have entertained us, informed us, and captured our imaginations. People who have led social movements, explored the heavens, and built successful businesses. Missourians are a people who work hard, who work together, and who never give up. Missouri is a land of opportunity. We were centrally bracketed by 2 rivers, crossed by major highways. We have been blessed with fertile farmland, abundant minerals, and industrious people. When we take these natural advantages and we pair them with conservative policies and limited government, we will unleash freedom and secure our future. It will take each of us working together to secure an even safer, stronger, and more prosperous Missouri. May God bless you. May God bless the United States of America. And may God continue to bless the great state of Missouri. Thank you so much.
Well, the new governor spending barely 10 minutes talking to a crowd of several thousand people about his priorities for the new administration. He started by talking about his mother. We mentioned that earlier, child of a single mom. Said he had her rosary and put his hand on her Bible today. Talked a bit about the political dynamic in the country, which includes Jefferson City, dynamic, what he said, good versus evil.
By Reverend John Miles, Senior Pastor of the Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church in Kansas City. Please remain standing after the benediction while the colors are retired and Governor and Mrs. Kehoe and their family are escorted from the dais by the Inaugural Escort Committee.
While we remain standing, we give thanks to you, O God, for you are good. Your faith and love endureth forever. Lord, hear our cry in times of distress. We know you can lead our governor. Give him peace give him joy, give him love. We praise you for your great love and for the wonderful things you have done in this state and the things that you will do in this state. Oh God, continue to give Governor Mike Kehoe all that is needed.
How do we feel?
This governor, the wisdom and courage to make the right decisions and the strength to endure. Whatever the consequences may be, attend upon him. Continue, God, to look from the windows of heaven, that he may hold a firm grip upon the reality of thy presence and a greater assurance of thy loving care. Let him know the reward of faith and obedience is always clear and understanding. By the power of your hand, O Lord, every day we call you, every night we lift our voices to you. O Lord, we come down asking you to be a blessing and have a right relationship with our governor. Once again, grant Governor Mike Kehoe to seek your wisdom, and we know that you will show him which path to take. Blessed be the tie that binds every heart in love. Amen.
They will now retire the colors. You can just see the two flags, the poles extending above the platform attendees. As we were saying before the benediction, Governor Kehoe today talked about the political dynamic in this state and in this country, which is no longer right versus wrong, but good versus evil. He says that's a political tone he rejects and will work to change. When the colors are retired, I believe the governor then will exit the platform. He does have something scheduled in his office, which he mentioned right after this program. He intends to take some first action as governor of Missouri. I believe the Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, will be there with him when that happens. Appears to be the first family departing. Kehoe talked about public safety being at the top of his list. He said too many Missourians feel unsafe, and he wants to create an environment of law and order where it is easier, this is a quote, easier to be a cop than a criminal.
This session of the 103rd General Assembly is hereby adjourned.
And that appears to conclude the program. Kehoe also talked about education. He's an advocate for school choice. And he wants schools to be a place where kids get taught how to think, not what to think. Again, a quote. He says tax cuts are coming. He did not go into detail today. And he also singled out agriculture. Talked about getting government out of the lives of the people who produce food for us. We want to go back down to the Capitol grounds now, where my colleague Megan Lane has been observing things. Megan, I've covered several inaugurations over the years. That address, that speech, seemed to be one of the shorter in my memory. I don't know if that was in deference to the temperature or Mr. Kehoe just wanted to get to the point and be done.
It did seem very short and sweet, to the point, and finished. You know, I am not angry at it being a shorter speech. It is frigid out here. You could see people in the crowd getting out their hand warmers and stuff to keep them warm, lots of hats, gloves. But I do have to say, I did see a lot of women with short dresses on and tights, and my heart went out for them. They've got to be frozen today. But as you can see behind me, people are filing on out, getting ready for the next events to take place. So what's happening now, as Kermit alluded to earlier, so Governor Kehoe will be back in the governor's office right now. He's heading up there to take his first steps as governor. He's going to be with Attorney General Andrew Bailey. Then after that, Attorney General Andrew Bailey is going to be around for press availability for questions and comments, but the governor is not, because he is headed on to his next thing, which is a meet and greet. I believe that's at the governor's mansion, and that is with the First Lady, Claudia Kehoe, by his side. Then there's going to be the promenade of the Budweiser's Clydesdales. They're going to be starting off at the Capitol grounds, and then they're going to go and move on and go down to the governor's mansion. Then later tonight at 7, there is going to be a grand march of all the dignitaries coming in, and then they will have the inaugural ball for the governor here at the Capitol. It's all are welcome. Anyone can come to enjoy the festivities. It's an exciting day here, very festive. I'll walk out of the shot again. You can see people filing out if they can feel their feet to walk. But it's been hour or so here. There's a lot of law enforcement presence here behind the scenes. You can see a lot of media. We're up here. We're on risers to get a better angle, but a very cool scene here in downtown Jefferson City, Kermit.
Megan, there was a lot of snow on the ground there earlier. I assumed the crews had a lot of extra work to do to get that snow off the south lawn so people wouldn't be, in fact, sitting in the snow.
Yes, there is not a single drop of snow. I don't know if you can see the ground at all, but there's no snow here. But it's crazy when you look the other way where I'm facing, covered with snow. So you know that they have been working hard to make sure that people were not inundated with that part of it. They have been busy at work.
And you haven't seen any evidence of anyone succumbing to the weather conditions there, needing medical attention, for example?
No, there is a Cole County EMS that I am looking at right now behind the camera. They're staged, waiting for people. You know, if people were to need it, there's also another canopy tent area that I'm assuming is for that. But I did not see anyone needing their attention, which is great news. That people did hopefully watch KRCG 13 this morning and listen to Sharon to know how cold it was going to be for this this inauguration, but everybody seemed to be doing just fine, besides the fact that I can no longer feel my toes or my face. Everybody's good.
Megan, you're a warrior, and you're not the only one. We should mention that KRCG has a couple of other folks down there, and they're going to be covering various aspects of what's going on. Why don't you tell us who's doing what?
That's right. So Chris Rogers was this morning. He did KRCG 13 live at sunrise. He was also at the Salute to Heroes event that happened this morning at 9 a.m. We streamed that live on our website and on our Facebook page. Then we are going to be we've obviously been at the inauguration. We're also going to later on be at the promenade of the Budweiser Clydesdales, which we will be able to see live on our Facebook page. We will be at the meet and greet with excuse me, with the Kehoes. We also were at Governor Kehoe gaveling in the Senate. Mark Slavitt is at that, and Mark Slavitt will also be at this first action as governor. And then Grace Gillis, she will be at the meet and greet with the governor and the first lady, and then she will be at the inaugural ball. So we've got people all over the place. Lots of press badges going out at the KRCG 13 newsroom, and so we will have you covered. We will have everything on Facebook. We will have live wrap-ups on KRCG 13 live at 5, 6, and 10. And of course, check out our social media. We've got it all covered there.
All right, Megan, we're going to let you try and get inside somewhere and see if you can regain feeling in your extremities, but thank you for the on-site coverage. As Megan said, we will have much more tonight at 5, 6, and 10. Mark Slavitt covered the then Lieutenant Governor's action at 10 this morning when he gavelled in for the final time the Missouri Senate. The Lieutenant Governor, of course, is the president of the Senate. And Mike Kehoe did that one last time. And now after this ceremony we have just seen, there will be some sort of activity in his office. We were not given specific details, but we know the Attorney General is involved. So we assume that the governor will be signing something or doing something related to law enforcement, to public safety, which he has expressed many times as his #1 priority. Then the horses will be out in the street. I don't think they get as cold as the rest of us do, but they will be promenading through the street, going to the governor's mansion, and then the other activity, there will be a reception there at the governor's mansion with Mr. and Mrs. Kehoe greeting people who have come to town. There are many. You couldn't find a seat at a restaurant table in this town last night, and I'm guessing you probably can't find a hotel or motel room here as well. And then tonight, of course, is, as Megan mentioned, the governor's ball, which is highlighted by the march, the promenade, where the governor and the other statewide office holders stand at the top of those curved steps that come down to the first floor rotunda, and they are announced, and they come down those steps to the floor. And that will follow the introduction of members of the legislature and spouses, families on occasion, who will do the same thing. And then there will be dancing in the rotunda, not the ballroom, until late into the evening hours, and that will wrap up the inauguration of Governor Mike Kehoe. We're glad that you were here with us. We will have much more for you, as I said, at 5, 6, and 10 on our newscast, so we hope you'll join us then, and we bid you good afternoon.